Today we'll be diving into facial expressions. As you know, my portraits consist of blank stares and constipated faces, so it would be beneficial to do some expression studies. Today's video will be focusing more on drawing rather than painting or rendering. Don't worry, I will still cover the painting process nearing the end of the video. As always, we'll start with the references. I'm using Pinterest and simply type in facial expressions and you will get tons of different faces. However, I highly recommend skipping the photographs and going for simple drawings instead. Let me explain why. Humans are complicated beings, and their faces are no different. Why am I talking like I'm a fish or something? Anyway, human faces are complicated. As you can see, there are wrinkles and lines forming as their faces contort into an expression. This can be overwhelming and distracting us from the facial expression itself. Compare it with simple drawings. They're cleaner, have more basic shapes, and even though they're a bit comical, this is much easier to learn than photographs. You can see the smile going wider from the first picture to the second picture, causing the eyes to squint a little. Then the mouth is grinning and the eyes are closed, and finally turning into a full laugh where the mouth is widely open. If it's your first time drawing facial expressions, you can copy the drawings as a study and take note of what differentiates one expression to the other. For example, sad eyebrows are arching upwards, angry eyebrows are arching downwards, while happy eyebrows are relaxed. Now let me show you how to make multiple expressions just by changing the eyebrows and the mouth. It's very beginner friendly because it's super easy. Today's subject is low hand. If any of you are sick and tired of me drawing low hand, we'll deal with it. Okay, sorry, that was harsh. But deal with it. You know, I've been replaying his idol animation every chance I got. Tell me that doesn't awaken something in you. But anyway, I will first draw low hand with the blank expression I usually draw. Then I will separate the eyebrows and mouth so we can easily change them. I also have super simple emoji-like drawings as a reference. Let's try the top second row. Well, the face is slightly smiling. Make the eyebrows relaxed and arching slightly upwards. Then draw the mouth curling up into a small smile. Then adjust with Liquify if needed. Simple, right? Just by changing the eyebrows and mouth a little bit, we have a whole different expression. Next, let's do the angry one. I think this one fits low hand the most. The eyebrows are arching downwards and create creases between them, like a frown. And then turn the mouth into a smirk. Okay, maybe this is not angry, this is more like he's thinking that you're an idiot, which is very low hand. I'm trying to draw the confidence expression next. I don't know why it's called confidence, because it's more like he's looking down at you in a playful manner, which is again very low hand except the playful part. For this expression, I think it looks better if the eyebrows are facing different directions, since we don't do anything to the eyes. As you can see, the emoji's eyes are half lidded, supporting the expression, but we're only doing the eyebrows and mouth, so we have to make the eyebrows more expressive. I'm trying to recreate the W mouth, and I think the easiest way is to emphasize the middle of the mouth, kind of like he's holding his laugh because you did something stupid, you know? Now let's try something OOC or out of character. I want to see Lohan shy and flustered. If I can't see that in game, at least let me imagine and draw. I won't make the eyebrow arch too extreme because I don't want to make it like he's about to cry. And don't forget to add a slight frown. Then draw the mouth into a goggle shape, I guess. You can make it more squiggly for comical effect. The corners of the mouth are usually darker, so add that in for depth. Don't forget to make the lower lip arches upwards, and we can't have flustered without blushing, so let's add some blush in there. Next is the Fua expression. I don't know, it says Fua in the picture, I don't know what that means. Maybe it means like in awe or admiring someone or something. Draw the eyebrow slightly arching upwards, but still relaxed. As for the mouth, it's shaped like a circle in the reference, but for my drawing, I will make it slightly open to fit my art style. Then add some blush, but not as much as the flustered one. And there we have it, 5 different expressions only by changing the eyebrows and mouth, and adding blush on the last 2. Easy, right? Next, we're moving on to more complex method, which is changing the eyes and adding small wrinkles in addition to the eyebrows and mouth. But nothing too complicated, really. But first, I wanna talk a bit about the mouth. I'm sure all of you have no problem drawing the eyebrows. Okay, even if you do, it's much easier to learn than mouth, so let's talk about mouth for a bit. Again, I recommend using drawings instead of photograph as a reference for easier studies. And don't pick a realistic or semi-realistic painting, because simple drawing where you can make out the basic shapes. On the first step of drawing, I also sketch the basic shape. For a grinning mouth, I first draw it into a boat, then start adding details like darkening the corners of the mouth, carving out an M shape for the upper lip, and outlining the teeth. Do not draw the teeth one by one. Less is definitely more for teeth. Then draw the lower lip and make adjustments if needed. Same thing goes for an open mouth. I usually simplify it into a hexagon, then add the teeth and tongue all in simple basic shapes, and afterwards add in the details. Using simple drawings as a reference allows you to focus on the basic shape and the expression itself, and it makes your workflow more structured. Start simple, add details later. Okay, but what if we want to draw from a photograph? Well, try to outline the basic shape as best as you can. For me, I always look for the mouth line. So for this mouth, the basic shape would look something like this. Then add in the teeth. Again, don't draw the teeth one by one. Draw them as a whole. Consider it like a mouth guard. I mean, a mouth guard is based on our teeth, but whatever. I don't know what else is simple enough to be correlated with the teeth. Then of course, we add the details. Add color to the mouth cavity, add some gums to the teeth. Okay, before you come at me, yes, I don't know how many teeth an adult human has. Can I Google it? Yes, but I'm too lazy to find out, and I'm too lazy to count the teeth. As long as it doesn't look like that one set of teeth in the "No, I'm not a human" game, I'll give it a pass. Now we're moving on to the slightly more complex expressions. Let me draw a new sketch of Lohan so you guys aren't bored. No, it's okay. It's no trouble at all. I'm happy I get to draw multiple Lohans. Okay, for the first expression, let's do an angry one. Like before, make the eyebrows arching downwards and add creases for the frown. Now I'm going to change the eyes so they look more angular. Sharp edges are usually correlated with anger and hostility. That's why many feline characters have boxy or sharp silhouettes. I also made the pupils smaller to further emphasize the anger and hostility. Big round eyes with huge pupils usually indicate cuteness or stoned actually. Either way, we don't want any of that for angry expressions, especially if the character is furious. For the mouth, draw a trapezoid first. Remember, basic shapes. Then play around with the corner of the mouth. I like to raise it a little so it'll be like you get what I mean. Then you can experiment with the teeth. Like maybe he's biting his lower lip, trying to suppress his anger. Or just go with a simple gritted teeth and add a tiny wrinkle on the corner. As you can see, I also made a tiny face next to Lohan so you can see the simplified version. If you wanna go the extra mile, try experimenting with the nose as well. Usually the nostril raises a bit when the corner of the mouth is also raised, then add a tiny wrinkle. You can add more visual elements like veins and lines on the jaw to further emphasize the expression. For the second expression, we're gonna try the high expression. Sorry, no, it's not high expression. It's actually energy, but in my reference window, it looks like I'm drawing a high expression. Anyway, the eyebrows are still arching downwards, but they're more relaxed this time. So no creases and no frowns. Make the pupils bigger so it doesn't look insane. This is more like a determined expression. There is no hostility, he's just feeling confident. Make the nostril relaxed as well and turn the mouth into a smile. Don't forget to erase the wrinkles and the under eye shadow. I added some under eye shadow for the anger expression before. This emotion can be considered a happy one. So I don't add any creases and wrinkles because the facial features are relaxed. However, if the happy expression is extreme, we do add wrinkles and alter the face shape a little. We'll talk about it after this segment. For the next expression, we're gonna draw a very Lohan one, which is instability. I'm sorry, Lohan, but I cannot stop thinking about you after I saw this expression. The reference has no eyebrows, so let's remove his. Then we change the pupils into teeny tiny ones. Okay, he looks insane already. I'm gonna add the eyebrows back because I don't think Lohan will let anyone shave his eyebrows. I will stick with a smiling mouth, but raise the corner a little and make it kinda squiggly, and add a tiny wrinkle to add more to the instability expression. I'm gonna make one of the eyes twitch, so it looks like he's really going insane. You can experiment with other things. This is the most fun expression to draw, honestly. And here's the super simplified version on the tiny face. See how just by making small changes can give you an entirely different expression? Now we're moving on to the extreme expression. So extreme, it alters your face shape. For this segment, we're going to use photograph as a reference. I still recommend using simple drawings though. This is just to show you how I draw expressions from photos. As I mentioned, extreme expressions alter the face shape. Most commonly, it makes the face longer because the mouth is widely open. Some expression also cause the face to look shorter because you squash your face to make that expression. Okay, let's move on to sketching. I made the rough sketch by using a circle and a cross as a guideline. Then drew the facial features really simply, focusing on the big shapes. Don't stress about realism when doing expression studies. Focus on getting the right emotion. Make sure to draw the face longer for this one. The mouth is widely open after all. So here's the comparison with a mild expression. The extreme expression has longer not longer chin, but the face is stretching from the cheekbones down to the chin. Now I'm going to draw the cleaner sketch. As I mentioned, don't stress about realism. Simplifying the facial features into cartoons or anime makes it easier to capture the expression. If you're interested, I will make a video about turning realistic portraits into anime or cartoons. For the mouth, if I follow the reference, it would look something like this. But see how weird it is when I place it on the face? So instead of following the reference religiously, capture the emotion it's conveying. To me, the guy on the reference looks very happy and maybe a little surprised. Like he just found out there is a dog at a party. Like, oh my god, there's a dog at the party! It's the best party ever! And so, we have to draw a happy mouth. Happy mouths are usually shaped like a triangle, but I made it hexagonal instead so the edges don't look sharp. Then of course, draw the face longer than usual. I decided not to add wrinkles because it doesn't look natural, and it's okay, don't focus on realism. Again, we can add other things instead, like turning the tongue into a heart shape, adding blush and more hearts to the eyes, and feel free to add more. A lot of things can support the expression. In my recent painting, I drew an expression where one side of the face is stretched due to extreme winking. This is the reference I used, but unfortunately, I forgot to record the sketching part. I forget things sometimes. A lot of times actually. But all my layers are still intact, so maybe we can go through it briefly before covering the coloring and also the rendering, which will also be brief because I don't want to make an hour-long video. This is the super rough sketch. Nothing to look at, I'm just making it exist first, no matter how ugly. And this is the cleaner sketch. It's still quite rough, but it has clearer shapes than the first one. As you can see, I already draw the expression at this stage, even though there are mistakes. I think the cheekbones supposed to be higher. Then I made a much cleaner sketch so I don't suffer during the painting. I made the lines thinner than the previous one. As you can see, the wrinkles are much thinner too, so I can shade and paint over it easily. Okay, so here's the base color. I've added soft shadows using an airbrush for volume. For the hard shadows, I'm mapping them out using the lasso tool and airbrush to get the sharp edges. However, I don't do this to the wrinkles because it looks unnatural. It's better to use the brush instead with a lighter shade. Same thing goes with rendering. I use midtones or the shade in between the shadow and base color to build the wrinkles and creases. Lower your brush's opacity to avoid too dark of a color. Again, it's okay to remove some wrinkles if it looks unnatural. For example, my reference has many creases between the eyes, but it doesn't look natural on my drawing, so I removed them. Not everything in the photo looks good on a drawing. That's why we have simplification and stylization. You can also try adding thin shades of blue to the shadows. This is called 藏色, or hidden colors in the Chinese artist community. This method adds more color variation and also makes the shadow less harsh. Don't make the wrinkles too dark unless you're drawing an old person. And that's about it on the facial expressions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna go run an errand for Lohan. I think he ran out of chewing gums and suspiciously glowing green liquid. So, bye!